All right, November 23rd, and man, I'm just getting my butt kicked. It have been for the last 10 days. I've been hunting hard for 10 days, and this is normally the week that I get it done when my mature bucks come out in daylight in my local woods here in Tallahassee. But man, it has not happened yet. It's a little warm right now, but that's no excuse. I mean, it was pretty cool, a few days ago. So, if does are in heat, it doesn't matter the temperature, but it just, makes it a lot more uncomfortable, especially in the afternoon, like I'm about to go to. But this morning, I had a 2-year-old 8-point come in, and I had seen him one or two other times before. He's going to be a nice buck in a couple years. And I saw 2 yearlings. One of them was a button buck and his sister, and they just hung out. So maybe their mom's getting bred, but I did have a picture of a new buck, a really tall racked 6-point that's 3 years old, a few days ago, and actually saw him this morning. He came in behind me, circled in behind me, and boy, he sure did act like an old buck, walking on all those crunchy leaves and didn't make a sound. And he peered in to the opening, looking for deer, looking for does, and there weren't any, so he didn't come in. But I got him to first circle behind me by grunting with my mouth. I don't even take a grunt tube with me anymore. It's never really worked for me. But he's only 3 years old, but he sure acted old. He acted, like a smart buck. And I got to be honest with you, he turned me on. There's only one other buck out there that I've seen, and I've not seen in person, but only gotten a few pictures of one that I believe is 4 years old. Doesn't have any brow tines. Has 4 points on his left side, 3 points on his right side. That's the only buck out there that's older than that one. And I got to be honest with you. He turned me on, and I'm going to hunt that buck. If I see him, unless I change my mind when that time comes, if it comes, I think I'm going to try to take him and just let it be what it'll be. I'm shooting a 3-year-old, but he turned me on. This is a spot that I shot a 9-point out here, 4-year-old 9-point out here last year on November 21. 3 years ago, I shot a really nice 8-point on November 23rd. So this day 3 years ago, but and he was 4 years old. But the deer don't get, it's the southern part of the county, they don't get as big of bodies. Just the habitat's not as good. The antlers normally aren't as good as my other spots around here. But another thing that's kind of different about this place is I hardly ever see a buck from the year before. So, when you look at a buck and they've got kind of unique antlers, and you're like, okay, I'm going to recognize him when I see him next year. And you don't see him. There was one buck, there was a really big 6-point that I did, really wide, big 6-point that I remember seeing the next year that the neighbor ended up shooting. But all these other bucks out here that I see, I never see them the following year. I don't know if they're getting shot or they just ain't coming back. So this buck here, this tall 6-point, is definitely transient, because I had put cameras out here, I think in July, and didn't have this buck at all until like 3 days ago. So he's coming through. He's definitely in search mode, and he turned me on. And if I see him, unless I change my mind, I think I'm gonna take him. So stay with me. I don't have a good wind direction, but I'm gonna hunt the stand anyway, and I'm just gonna use a little black widow to kind of spray out in front of me and hope that negates my bad wind. But anyway, it's awfully warm, but if the rut's on, the rut's on, and so it shouldn't matter. So let's see what happens.
was awesome. It's not even 4:45 yet, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm gonna just wait here a little bit longer. You know, you never know what's gonna happen. He's down right there. I see him, so. Oh man. All right, I shot him at 4:45. It's now a little after 6 o'clock, so almost the end of shooting light, but I just wanted to stay out here because I shot him so early that, you know, you never know what might have come out. And after does come out and feed, and basically I just wait until they left to get down. Go put my hands on this buck and see him for the first time, but I think he's just right over here. But I'll tell you what, man, I might come back here in the morning. I think he's just right. There he is right there. I made sure to tell myself to let the gun surprise me. That's a good deer. I think he's 3 years old. You know, and I knew that. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. That is an 8-point. Huh. I didn't see these other points. Yeah, I mean, I think that's an inch. That one's definitely an inch. So I mean, I guess technically he's an 8-point. I thought he was a tall 6, but anyway. Yeah. May have put a good shot on him. Yeah, he's 3 years old. He's probably 150 pounds, maybe a little less. But you know what? This is exactly. I mean, I knew it was 3 years old, and hey, that's just fine with me. So I'm gonna go ahead and either bring the sled back or bring back that harness where I can drag him out a lot easier. All right, get back to y'all real soon.
All right. Finally got him back to the house. I tell you, he's a little heavier than I thought, or maybe I'm just getting a little older and weaker in my old age. But anyway, I'm happy about this buck. Like I said, you know, he's only 3 years old. I'm not gonna, you know, pretend that he's anything more than that. But I didn't realize that he was actually an 8-point. Got another point right here. I didn't realize that he had G3s. That one's an inch, and that one might not quite be an inch. So maybe technically only a 7-point. But anyway, a 3-year-old deer. Got him on camera for the first time like 2 days ago. I mean, he is what you call a transient buck, where he was just passing through. He was searching. I saw him this morning from the stand. He came in behind me, circled around, but you know, he acted like a mature buck. I mean, the leaves were real crunchy, but man, you couldn't hear him walk at all. And he got as close to like 20 yards over my left shoulder, and I never heard him, but he was looking in at the clearing there where the does normally feed, you know, just to see if there were any deer there, and there weren't, so he never came in. But he came in this afternoon, so I thought it would be good to go hunt the afternoon, because he was definitely coming through there in search mode. And he came out at like 4:45. Came in from the other side. I had a bad wind, but actually he came from the other direction, so it actually worked out in my favor. And he came in, and like I said, he turned me on when I saw him this morning. You know, got my heart pumping. And this is one of those spots where I just don't see deer the next year, you know, from the year before. I just don't see him. Like I definitely do not remember this deer at all from last year. So it's a kind of a weird place. There's a lot of hunting pressure right around there, and probably that has something to do with it. But it's just one of those things where it's hard to really, if you're trying to let a deer go so he'll get a year older, it really doesn't happen at that spot. I got some other spots where I can do that. But anyway, he's gonna make a great Euro mount, and meat in the freezer. I think he's probably I don't know, 140, 135, 140 pounds. Not real big, but they just don't get that big on the southern part of the county, and they don't grow that big of racks. But he's definitely 3 years old, and it's gonna make a great Euro mount, and I'm gonna get him to the processor right now. So anyway, thanks for joining me, Tony Young Outdoors, and you know, I'm gonna be at it again tomorrow morning, and depending on what pictures I get, you know, on my cameras or not, I may go back. I may go back to the same spot tomorrow morning, because I mean, when the rut's on, the rut's on. And you never know who's going to show up. Might be somebody bigger than this, but we'll have to see. But anyway, I'm gonna be at it hard. You can bet that. So anyway, God is great all the time, and get out there and enjoy your passion. Thank you.